Oh, I did forget to put on my glasses. Now that my tea is done, I'm just going to try to do a bit of perspective. I've never really tried to. I don't understand anything about it, so I'm just going to keep on following what looks like a simple lesson on Skillshare about perspective, try to understand and get the hang of it just a little bit. I'll also have to work on my essay. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Also, the camera should be less shaky because I have like kind of a stand. You see how my arm is right now? Wait, I need to do like that. My arm's like that. Oh, yes, that's something I will get to know. Oh, it's not focused on my face anymore, it's not following my face. But yeah, I have that, which might be easier to do some stuff for the videos, and once I have the hang of it, maybe I'll be able to do some cool effects. I don't know. But the point is, I can move my hand and my arm and it's not too shaky anymore. So, yep, I'll have to get the hang of it. Also, my camera is here, so I have to look down. It would have been better if it was up here. I'm going to try that out, and yeah, we'll see how it goes, and I'll just switch onto working on my essay. So, yeah. What did I wanted to say again? Yesterday I spent the whole afternoon, almost the whole afternoon, trying to finish the end of the year letters and cards that I have to send to my friends, and I managed to finish 2 of them completely, and then I was just too tired of decorating the paper and everything, and then writing another letter which would not look similar, which would not look too similar to the ones I already wrote. So I decided to stop there. I couldn't do anything after that, like anything. I couldn't do anything. I was too tired. So today I will have to work on my master's essay. I have to keep... Wow, I can't find my English. Wow, it's gone. But yeah, I have to keep working on it. I have to keep making progress, that's it. I have to keep progressing in this master essay. But it's the moment when I really don't want to work on, because it's the part when I have to read everything that's already written, because since it's my second master essay, because it's my second year of master, I am trying to reuse some parts of my first master essay of last year, since the subject is the same, just the problematic that's changing, to investigate a bit further on a different topic, let's say. So I want to do a historical, I have to explain the historical backgrounds, what happened, where my subject comes from, and explain some things so we have a good basis, so that the people who will read my essay will have some kind of knowledge, some kind of background, to not be just thrown onto my subjects without any kind of knowledge or any kind of basics about the subjects. Because last year my subject was the Korean kissing, which is really roughly put, but it's basically kind of the Japanese geisha but in Korea. Like a lot of things are different, but if you want an idea of what a kissing is, it's more or less an idea of what they were. And last year I did some researches about where they came from, when they appeared, how they were selected, what they were doing, what they were studying, the status, like the social status they had, and all the historical elements and evolutions they went through from more or less there when they appeared to the Japanese colonization, like from 1910 to 1945, and how they evolved, how they changed. Because when you ask a Korean what a kissing is, what they were, or when you try to look it up, the first really rough things that you see, and the first things and almost only things that a Korean might tell you is that there were girls who were serving like alcohol and things like that, either on bars, restaurants, or serving during royal events at the time. And what what I found a lot, what I saw a lot, was that they were more or less considered like prostitutes, which they were not. And I have nothing against prostitutes, absolutely nothing. But yeah, they were considered as prostitutes when they were not. And I was curious about why they were considered like that. And that was the actual subject of last year, of my essay from last year. And this year I want to investigate a bit further, but on a different problematic. This year I would like to do some researches to know what they became. So from the Japanese colonization of Korea, or from the end of it, still don't know, to more or less today, to know what they became. Because from what I found last year is that today there's still two kinds of kiseng. There's the ones that still that kept and kind of inherit the higher status of, well, the status of the higher kissengs, but they're not called kissings because nowadays the ones that call themselves kissings are the ones that kind of inherited the status from the lowest kissings of the time, who are not really educated like kissings used to be, and are working in cafes, restaurants, things like that, and who are just using the name kissing to try to get back some of the higher status of the higher kissings that they used to have. It's a bit complicated to actually explain it in English because I'm not used to trying to explain it in English and my brain is extremely tired this age, so whenever I want to speak English while I'm filming, everything I want to say and everything I know I want to say just vanishes, so it's kind of difficult to find my words. Yeah, so this year I have to do further researches on that, and I am at the moment when I do not want to work on my essay, because it's the moment when I have to read the things I selected from my first essay to put on my second essay as a historical basis. I have to read everything once again to see what I can delete from my actual essay, to try not to have too much, to try not to have too much of a big historical period, because if I talk about the kissings from when they kind of appeared to today, the historical period is going to be way too big, way too long. And if I do that, what will be awaited from me is that the information about all the historical period will have to be really precise, which is not possible for a master essay, because it would be too long for a master essay. But it kind of bugs me as well to not put a historical basics / reminder for people who are not familiar with the subjects, to not be thrown onto my subjects and be completely lost, because I mean, it's important to have a historical basis when you're gonna talk about something that started way before. If you want the people who read to understand, they have to have kind of a historical background. So yeah, it's the moment when I have to read everything and I don't feel like reading everything. Like, I spent my entire last year to actually read and reread and reread once again everything I wrote, so I don't really feel like reading this again, but I have to, so that I can better what I took from it. And then I'll have to start reading the sources and the documents I found, which is going to take a lot of time as well. And once again, I don't feel like doing this. I just don't feel like reading that much and taking notes. Like, the taking notes part is the most interesting, I'd say, for me, because I just don't feel like reading these days. I just don't feel like spending my days or my afternoons reading something. Even though it really interests me, I don't feel like doing it. Even more since the majority of my documents and sources are in Korean, and it's going to take forever to try to translate them, and I don't really have that time either, and I don't want to badly translate them or not understand them correctly. I don't want to write something wrong on my master essay. I'm just in a phase where I just don't feel like doing this. But I do have to do it, and I do have to try to get into it so that it becomes easier for me to progress in my master essay. So yeah. Though I did a lot already on my actual essay, all the settings and stuff like that, all the details are pretty much done. Bébé! Tu veux sortir? Oui? Okay. I already did a good part. I just have to motivate myself to keep going for the last or the next steps. And yeah, I think this is a long enough explanation on what's going on. So I'm gonna open my window for my cat to go out, and I'll just keep on working and try to get into it.